We're inside the second pyramid at Giza. Some call the Khafre Pyramid. This is the main interior chamber, which conventional archaeology calls a tomb. However, the resonance inside here is so incredible that others believe that this was part of a energy generator that the pyramids here were energy generating structures or vibrational structures, not built as the tombs of egotistical. Now this is the box, so-called sarcophagus.
My wife said, if you win, we'll fly to Asia. If I win, we'll fly to Paris. I bet you won't get toned.
Made out of a rose granite. And it didn't fit or drop down on top. The lid didn't drop on top of the box. It actually slid into place.
Yeah, that might be
Right here, yeah.
So this is the exterior of what is called the second pyramid, or some call the Khafre Pyramid. The lower casing stone, that which is still here, is rose granite.
Okay, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Okay, mic check. I might have figured it out. I had to add myself to the stage. Oh my God. All right.
From the quarry at Aswan.
Does my audio work now? Let's see.
And then it goes part way up. And then after that, it's Tura limestone, which is almost pure calcium carbonate. And as part of the Giza power plant hypothesis of people such as engineer Christopher Dunn, the exterior skin, to some degree, acted as an insulator. And
this guy here, Brian Forrester, he does Hinanika tours. He lives in Peru and does a lot of tours with Machu Picchu and the surrounding areas of actual megalithic sites, but he has some far out theories. This guy's a glober. He thinks a cataclysm happened of some kind like 10,000 years ago, but he does know the difference. He does a good job pointing out between megalithic and post cataclysm, post flood, whatever you want to call it, building.
Then the limestone that was the core is full of salts and minerals, and so it could actually conduct electricity. So again, it's like this was a giant resonating structure built thousands of years before the dynastic. And this is what we see in many parts of the world, especially in Peru and Bolivia and here in Egypt. Structures thousands of years older than the famous culture which supposedly built them. But in fact, the story is that a very ancient, high-tech culture of some kind constructed not only the pyramids of the Giza Plateau, but a massive tunnel system underneath the Giza Plateau as well, going north, south, east, and west, and going for miles. Something happened to them, something catastrophic. And then afterwards, what we call the pharaohs, or the pharaonic Egyptians, or dynastic Egyptians, moved into the area about 5,000 years ago and adopted these sites, of course, these places, and renamed them, and in some cases reused them. So the second pyramid.
I mean, the size of these things, every one of these layers is like 5 feet tall, like 6 feet. They look like pebbles from here, but geez, there's so much stones.
Here, this is where the stone was quarried in terms of the blocks themselves. And it's so heavily weathered that we can't see the tool marks involved. But not only that,
the pyramids have a sandstone exterior, but the inside where he started out was granite. That's the important part, because to be megalithic, you got to have certain criteria. And he explains this over and over. Like the Mohs hardness scale, granite is 7, and you got to have something harder on the Mohs hardness scale, like diamond, to be able to cut and polish these stones, these huge 70-ton, 100-ton granite megaliths. It's ridiculous. We still can't do it today. It's that ridiculous.
You can see that they cut the blocks down, starting at the top of the plateau, straight down like that, in order to remove the blocks and create this shape.
Oh, it's so obvious that the caves look right into
the wavelengths of the sound frequency. So if we believe these were for sound. But what I wanted to point out is that huge crack in the wall. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if this was even made during the dynasty while the crack, or if it was made with the crack in here, they would usually fill it. Same like the crack we saw down there in the caves under.
Yeah.
Remember the huge crack in the wall that was filled with a material like cement?
Right.
Yeah, so if they had it here, if they had it during the structure, they would fill it with the same material. But this one looked like something shook it, that it isolated the whole gate, because this was originally one block.
Or maybe like the unfinished obelisk, they stopped work.
Very similar, but not the same. You can see also that this technique, which we still want to see in the unfinished obelisk, is quite primitive and failure. In most cases here, they could not split. Use this huge slab, and instead of something like that half here, should work. Especially that if you're gonna case it, could have had it as a secret knowledge. We found evidence of this machining in devices that were found in a pre-dynastic location, like Marmada and Tasa and Al-Badari, all in the...
Actually, here it's pretty good.
We would bolt the sides together. They said, no, this is one piece. How would you do this? I said, oh, you guys find this. That's it.
This is the second pyramid at Giza. And now we're going to approach the third, the smallest of the three, which some call Menkaure, but we simply, at the Kemet School, call this the third pyramid, because, again, we don't believe that these were in any way, shape, or form tombs of pharaohs. Christopher Dunn was the man who initiated the theory that the series of three pyramids were in fact an energetic system, and that they
Just the size of those things, man. Wow. It's amazing.
were created quite possibly thousands of years prior to the dynastic Egyptians. There's a series of tunnels and shafts underneath this plateau that stretch for miles, north, south, east, and west. They go under these pyramids, and originally they carried water, and it was believed that water set up.
So yeah, I differentiate between the mud flood stuff that is all over the internet about the 1600s and these churches and things. Like, I'm like pre-deluge, pre-flood, megalithic criteria, not this is a real wonder, not where are the blueprints to the church.
Some kind of vibration because the proportions of the tunnels were exacting to create this vibratory effect, and that caused these huge things to set up a vibration. The vibration was transferred into some kind of energy, probably not electrical, but vibratory, and was used.
I don't agree with anything he's saying. I don't know. He babbles on about cataclysm and the globe, and now he'll come up with some theory about how they were energy devices, but I've looked into it. It ain't very credible.
Used for, some say, to set up some kind of force field around the area, which allowed the builders to enter into much higher state of consciousness than we are capable of today. Whether you believe it or not, it's quite a prominent. So here we see these weird knob-like things that are on.
I think he mentions it, but these same knobs are on in Cusco, Peru. There's a wall there, and they have the exact same stones, the exact same knots in Peru as the ones right here, these casing stones. And the casing stones were granite on the pyramids, the bottom third, or it wasn't the entire pyramid, but a large portion of the bottom had granite casing stone. And that's what he's showing you at the very base.
Many of the surfaces, and that is similar to ancient pre-Inca structures in Peru as well. So originally this entire pyramid was encased in pink granite that came from Aswan, which is 500 miles away. The question is, if all of this casing stone was removed afterwards by later cultures who wanted the material as for building their own buildings or statues or whatever, then why are there casing stones still at the bottom? Doesn't it make sense to start removing from the bottom and go upwards rather than from the top and come down? The theory, according to...
No, man, you'd remove them from the top and come down. How would you pull a stone out from the bottom if all the other ones are stacked on top of it?
What we call the Giza power plant, or the energetic concept, is that several thousand years ago, these generators, these energy generators, there was a catastrophic event of some kind, and they literally went into, not overdrive, but they were over flooded with energy, and that caused this hyper vibration to the surface, and that may have been what caused the casing stones to literally peel off due to this hyper vibration to it, and that also turned the system off, and they haven't worked to this very day. But if you go inside these pyramids, you feel this residual energy that's still functioning. It's as though it's running at 1/10 of 1% of its original.
Those huge granite stones, man, you got to have diamond to cut through those. And I've heard like Roger say, well, they got water pressure could do it, but you're talking about like some cases 10, 15 feet of stone. There's not a water pressure that could cut through 15 feet of granite. I don't know.
Capacity possible.
I don't know what kind of water pressure technology they had in the past, but
most teenagers
it was
order candy from
pre-flood.
an app.
Well, most teenagers don't have.
A different cut, yeah.
Different section.
But they're choosing the whole corridor here.
This was a
to be made. And it has
So you can see these here are granite, and the other is sandstone.
the knobs too.
They seem to do that a lot, use this really dark stuff for.
You see the knobs here?
Entryway,
Yeah.
corridors.
Oh yeah, they're more.
Yeah, that was only Big Tony.
And then here you see mud brick, which is a very primitive form of building on the outside of megalithic. So clearly the mud brick comes later and is more primitive than the prior workmanship. And this is counter to conventional archaeology. So this is just one of several examples that we encounter, especially here in Egypt, as well as Peru and Bolivia, where you have more sophisticated technology existing prior to less sophisticated. Conventional scholarship tells us that we went from primitive people to sophisticated people, but in fact it's more likely that human civilization went in cycles: primitive to very high, to a collapse, to rising above and a collapse. And that's why sites in countries such as Egypt, here at the third pyramid, we're encountering very sophisticated work that pre-existed what is conventionally thought as dynastic work. The dynastic work, in fact, was better than the later Greek work, which was better than the Roman work, which came after that.
Right. Let's see. Okay. So I showed you there. Here's the wall in Peru, the same one, the casing stones from the pyramid. Well, you got the same stones right here in Peru, granite.
In the Inca city of Cusco, this is a very common way that the Inca would build a wall. They would shape the stone and put the stones together, and then they would put adobe mud in between as a mortar.
It's trying to show you what Incas do. You know, the modern post-flood adobe.
Later, the Spanish arrived, and the Spanish would mix straw and adobe mud, and they would make walls like this, which then they would paint. On the other hand, we have that. And this is what is ascribed to the Inca. However, how in the course of 300 years do you go from this kind of building to that? Or from that kind of building to this kind? It seems the most logical thing that happened.
You see how they're all shaped perfectly, granite. This is for earthquakes too. That's why they're still standing today, because they're shaped where they'll never fall ever, no matter the strength of the earthquake. It interlocks them. And it's granite. I mean, that's going to last forever.
Was that this wall existed possibly thousands of years before the Inca existed.
I don't know if he covers it here, but there's also animals in these blocks. The way they got a snake and a few other animals. It's pretty cool. But this is Cusco, Peru, in a village.
And they inherited this. And that is what we see today. This is the Inca Roca wall in Cusco. It's not simply a complex construction, it's symbolic. And our friend here is going to tell us what it means.
Okay, I think so. Yeah, he does. Okay.
Yeah, it's Puma, the sun. Yeah. They had the Puma here.
This is the head of the puma.
The eyes, small stone here.
Yeah.
The three stone, neck, the chest, and the leg. 1, 2.
Right.
This is stomach.
Uh-huh.
Small stone is the sex.
See?
Other leg.
Yeah.
Tail is in two stone. 1, 2, 3.
Right. There's the tail.
The body is for here.
Okay, good.
This is puma.
Okay.
This neck.
Uh-huh.
This one.
Okay, here's the snake
Snake.
pattern. And now,
The big stone in here is the head.
right, here's the head
Bro,
of the
that is
snake.
a snake for real.
Eyes.
The eye.
This line is
I mean, what that
Tongue?
little
Yeah.
mouth?
This is stomach.
That's the body going down. And there's the tail. And the condor
The
is
corner.
arriba.
This leg, 1,
There's one leg of the condor,
2 leg.
and there's the second leg of the condor.
I mean, to incorporate all this form and function and also have design in mind to do that, that's incredible.
The tail is here.
Oh, and the tail of the condor is here. Ah, okay. Yeah, muy bien. Okay, muchas gracias. ¿Cómo se llama?
Jose, my name is Jose.
This is Senior Jose in Cusco. So with this Inca Roca wall, you see the mosaic of green andesite, which makes it up. And some say that it's because of the fact that the stone was shaped that way, that they tried to make it fit as best they could.
I don't know if he said it's andesite, but diorite, and there's a few other stones that are on the Mohs megalithic or Mohs hardness scale 7 or above. But usually it's with quartz, because quartz has properties to it. Like one of them is piezoelectricity. Whenever you smash a quartz crystal in a torch lighter, it creates electric, and it also has a resonant frequency. And we use them in digital watches for timekeeping. And there's a few properties of quartz, and it's a very, very hard crystalline structure. So you cannot cut them without diamond technology.
However, it's more probable that they did this intentionally. This seam is so tight that water doesn't even penetrate it. You can see the stain where the water travels down the join, but doesn't penetrate it. In other areas, you do find separation. Not here, but that is probably the result of earthquake damage that forced the stones apart. And another point is, how do you go in the course of 300 years from this megalithic way of building with a stone or stones of this scale, and then again within 300 years previous you have that?
That's a good
You have a change
contrast of
in
how
construction style, one way or the other, either forwards or backwards from this style to that. And again, from this way of building a wall, which would be difficult, very, very difficult to do. This is not the work of slaves, this is the work of master masons. But from this to, in the same street, to this. To this amazing polygonal way of putting a wall together.
it's amazing.
Again, for purposes of your amusement, that style, and then that style. The materials are different too, from different sources. And this is an example of Spanish building. This is where the Spanish tore the houses and the palaces of the Inca apart and reconstituted them in order to make their own buildings. So this is an example of how the Spanish built fast but incredibly sloppy. And in comparison, this is Inca period, probably, with this form
They probably found
of putting a wall together.
it looks shaped here and there, but it ain't like no. They could have. A lot of times they'll find a lot of these blocks laying around and they'll just put them together, restack them.
A good reason why we find the wave action could be because they designed them in order to carry the waves of earthquakes through the building.
But I don't know. It's got some good shape. Like this goes down. I don't know. It is pretty ridiculous.
The earthquake wouldn't destroy the building. But then on
I don't know, man. That looks like original.
the other side of the street, we have this polygonal, which is attributed to the Inca, but more likely this was done by the megalithic builders from several thousand years ago. And again, here we have the so-called Inca way of building something.
Okay, that's a good enough contrast. Oh, damn, I put the wrong button.
It's the final round, and he's pushed through it. What a shot! This man is unstoppable.
I knew this would be the fight of my.
Oh, I wanted to show you a cool site back in Egypt. It's called the Serapeum. Yeah, right here. There's like 12. That was what they call sarcophaguses in the pyramid. There's a Serapeum, and down here underground, there's 12 more of these granite sarcophaguses, which is impossible for one to even get in there, and for two to even build them to begin with.
A thorough exploration of the Serapeum at Saqqara, which is an underground complex, as you can see, rediscovered in the 19th century by archaeologists. And what's very intriguing about the Serapeum is this is where we find 25 multi-ton boxes.
25.
Some of them weighing as much as 100 tons, located in a system of 2 tunnels. One of the
Okay, 100 tons each. I mean, that is ridiculous. In these tiny little hallways, and then down in the little chambers.
Tunnels has several niches, as you can see. There's actually one of the smaller boxes. And you can see that there are some hieroglyphics carved on. It's our assertion that the dynastic people found these massive boxes, and on, I believe, 2 or 3 of them, they carved.
You got to be very careful with hieroglyphs because there's been 4,000 years of writing over things. And then there's another box in here that the lines, because granite is so hard, somebody tried to etch in a line, but it ain't perfect. It's like squiggled. It's a little off. You could tell that they were having a hard time and they didn't do it perfect. So this questionable, very questionable. And granite stuff, megalithic, was about form and function. It wasn't so much about artisan or anything.
Carved hieroglyphics, but the original boxes had no hieroglyphics whatsoever. Here is one that was never completed. Its lid is actually in the hallway. So each one is in a different stage of completion. Some complete, this one obviously roughed out, as you can still see the tool marks on the lid. And then here's another one. You can see that the lid is on, and it would have fit quite snugly onto the box itself, but it too was never complete. Here's another one in a very rough stage. And the theory we have is that the boxes were being worked on, and then a series of cataclysmic events happened which stopped the work at the Serapeum. Here's another one with its faceted lid. You see the 2 notches on the lid, possibly used for opening and closing it. And also all of the boxes except two were found, actually one, were found in their niches, but we're going to see that there was one that is in the other hallway, and it is separate from its lid.
I mean, it is absolutely impossible to build these boxes. Even today, pretty much. I mean, we had diamond technology to cut granite in the 1800s. I mean, unbelievable.
So here's an empty niche into which possibly the one in the other hallway would eventually have been put, but it never made it. And now we're walking down through the main tunnel hallway. We're going to look at some other of the boxes in their niches as we go. The lack of soot marks on the ceiling infer, once again, that there had to have been some kind of artificial light present in order to maneuver the boxes into the Serapeum, down through the hallway, and into the niches. And here's another niche.
I can imagine a handful of people picking that box up. That's ridiculous. Even think that.
That likely was made for another box, possibly that is in a different location. Now we're looking at one that is almost complete. It doesn't quite have the polished surfaces that we'll see in other boxes, but you can see the lid is on. The curious thing is that all of them, except for one, were found with the lids ajar. Now, taking into account that some of the lids weigh 30 tons, it's mysterious as to why they were found partially open like this. And here we have another one. You can see this one is complete or almost complete with a relatively highly polished surface. Unfortunately, the people who work there don't go in and clean the boxes, which would be nice. So there's a fair bit of dust on the surfaces.
One tiny flaw ruins most grounding sheets, but bare earth fixed it. You see, most grounding sheets have
You can see that the lid is ajar. Some of these boxes are granite, but other ones, this one could possibly be diorite, which is a granitic stone. The location of the quarry is most likely Aswan, which is in the farthest south.
I've been studying megalithic stuff for 8 or 9 years, and I know exactly where all these are at. The Aswan quarry, there's still a giant megalith attached to the bedrock. It's got scoop marks around it. And then there's another quarry in Baalbek, Lebanon, and that one has a megalith attached to the bedrock with scoop marks. It's worth a quick peek. But he goes on and on. There's 25 of these boxes in there, man. That's a lot. And when there's one of them, they let the people walk around. It's taller than people.
And yet another niche. This one as well. Go ahead.
I mean, look how, how is somebody going to carry that and drop that down in there? How many people can lift that? I mean, they couldn't even get the lid. That's a tiny little niche for 100 people. You might be able to get under there. There's no way, man. Few people probably died. There might be somebody laying under there right now. Who knows? That dude is gone, man. We'll never know because nobody ain't ever moved him. Just, I don't know if you can even get machinery in there to recover it. I think it's impossible.
Yeah.
Oh, and these imperfect lines. If you notice how, like, these lines up are like off, they're not, because granite is so hard. They're chiseling away and they're doing a terrible job at it.
But that's why you have to look at all of them, because they're all in different stages of completion.
Yeah, yeah, those lines are not perfect. They obviously didn't care about the outside. This one's got like a big, and I don't know. But yeah, these hieroglyphs, this is after some point. Yeah, he didn't know what he was getting himself into with this granite. You got 25 more to go, buddy. So that probably took him a lifetime to do that way. Yeah. Oh, what? Hope I didn't hit skip on my thing. Oh, it's a, well. Dazwan Corey, Baalbek, Lebanon. Let's see if I can find Baalbek. These Egypt. Yeah, this is a Baalbek, Lebanon. This is a quarry where a megalith, and this here, this is the Temple of Jupiter, and down here on the base, so I think this backside, there's 3 of these stones called the Trilithon, 3 granite, 100-ton stones. It's the next video down, but the quarry is what this video. Okay, I think you see them right here. This 1, 2, 3, and when people stands here, they're like this tall. These things are like 10 feet, 12 feet.
Left there, you can see the size of the person in comparison to the blocks. I've heard crazy theories about this place, that it was once used as a landing pad by aliens in the...
That's granite. You see the way it's scooped out in here and around the site. This is old because now they got the whole thing cleaned out all the way around. I mean,
it's undercutting it.
Yeah.
And the one the left and one in situ is even bigger, and they were going to plan to cut a bigger one.
Where is that one?
Right on next to it. Right next to this is one in the ground, in situ. It's thicker than this one, probably 1,500 tons. What I say, this one's 1,200 tons.
And it's visible?
Right, go right around. I'll show it to you.
Okay, cool.
Let's take a video. Right here.
Oh.
This is in situ.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
It's thicker, and it may be heavier. And there may be another one underneath it that they were cutting underneath.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. They stopped the work. They just stopped the work like it was ended. Cataclysm could be an This is pre-cataclysmic. This is pre-cataclysmic.
That's the cataclysm.
No.
Robert Shock, that to get this quality as one piece limestone, especially limestone, because look, this is the limestone, all cracks. So you must get deeper. So it means that once the mountain was high, 1,000 BC.
Okay, here we are in Lebanon ago. So that's 10,000 years before the presence of the Romans in wing marks at the bottom. And there is the presence of a crack in the lower surface just above their heads. 3 1,000-ton blocks in a row, very tightly fitting, no mortar, no gap, and above and to the right, we see the cruder and later work of the Romans. And this is just to emphasize that fact. The curious thing is that the stones underneath what is called the trilithon, which are these 3 stones in alignment, that the foundation blocks are smaller, and that's still a mystery to us, and that is why we will be returning over and over again to study, because going to an ancient location like this once really doesn't give you the full picture. You see the grand scheme that went on.
Trying to find Aswan Quarry back in Egypt, 500 miles south of Giza. That's a long ways to be carrying some granite stones.
It was even used on the granite of the incredible casing stones of the Middle Pyramid at Giza.
And I want to explain the precision of the rest of it. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, so fine.
Is certainly a better explanation for how you might split a dolerite sphere in half. Trying to split one through pounding alone was tested by British engineer Reginald Engelbeck, who excavated the site in 1922.
This is the quarry here with that.
He found it to be basically impossible.
Monolith still.
The only
on
way
bedrock.
he made
Okay, quit pounding rocks.
out of its trench is a not inconsequential task.
That ain't how they
and
did it.
when we consider the unfinished obelisk, a huge monolith by any description, we only have access to most of one wall of the original trench that ran down the length of the piece, and a small part of the opposite wall at the base of the block.
Oh, here. I don't like that globe intro. He's a glover, but he does his megalithic.
Either by the Swiss.
Cataclysm, yo.
So we are at the Aswan Quarry in southern.
There's these scoop marks I've been talking about.
Egypt. This is the unfinished 1,200-ton obelisk.
Scoop marks down there.
Okay, we're in the pit of the unfinished obelisk at Aswan.
This is where all the casing stones from the Great Pyramids are quarried from. It's red granite.
We're going to wait until somebody yells at us to force us to leave. And until that happens, away we go.
Or peat granite, whatever it is. These scoop marks here because quartz has a resonance frequency so many tens of thousands of hertz a second. You can actually resonate with the frequency. If you had some ultrasonic something to have the exact same frequency as the granite, and you resonate the frequencies, and you can cause it to break apart. And these scoop marks, if you could design something to use the same frequency, because like I was saying, quartz has properties, it's piezoelectric, and it also it's resonant. So yeah, it's possible to make something to scoop it. I don't think it ain't the heat. It's more to do with quartz, I believe.
So you're not supposed to do this, but we are.
Yeah, and they're going to use logs and pull it out of this hill right here or something. That's their claim, I guess. Hey, roll it on logs. It's 500 miles away, so man, that's some ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, you can always go up that way if you want. Yeah.
What are they saying? I don't understand.
What's that?
Somebody's screaming something.
He's saying get out. He's saying it's closed.
Ah.
But you can go out the back way if you want. You don't have to go up. You can go out that way
Can
if
I
you
go
want.
that way?
Yeah, either way's fine.
That stone's so heavy right there. They're not even worried about it falling on their head. They're like, man, that's about a ton. That ain't going nowhere. We're good.
As long as you leave, that's all he
break your toe before you
cares about.
It's gonna take an army just to move that stone crossing the path. Ooh. How'd they get it in the first place? It's a mystery. Oh my God. Should have a forklift down the monolith. Obelisk. 10,000-pound rated capacity.
We have to leave. Slowly, but you have to leave.
All down in there is pretty.
Now the police are writing up a report.
Is it easier to go that way?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can go either up or down as long as we have to leave now.
Itself, yeah, I don't know.
But is it easier?
No, it's easier going this way, to the right.
Old ladies.
Scoop it on out of there. Seems logical.
Yes, I'm going. I can't fly yet.
Now he's writing a police report. You can go around if you want. So this is a smaller obelisk at Aswan, and you can see, again, the very curious scoop marks. So how would you possibly achieve that with a hand stone hammer pounding away sideways?
I told you one possible way, resonating at the frequency of quartz. So they're already vibrating. You're just going to make the vibrating stronger and break them apart. Right.
My eye, this was a bigger piece, and it was obviously successfully extracted. A huge monolith by any description. We only have access to most of one wall of the original trench that ran down the length of the piece, and a small part of the opposite wall. Granite Mountain then began digging down, using test holes to determine the depth needed to find solid enough granite required for something 100, 400, or let alone 1,000 tons. The drawing in the Winnie's Causeway is not sufficient to explain these cases, a topic I've dived into in my quarrying.
Some of the very rare hieroglyphs and some of this granite, I don't know, it kind of looks legit. It's hard to say now. There's been so much to decode with all this.
And logistics video, the link to that one is below too.
One thing I learned to do is just focus on the granite of things. It's all over the world. I have Egypt, and I was showing you Lebanon. Of course, Peru. There's Machu Picchu. There's sites in China, Japan. There's in the Asia, all over the world. You got to be very careful with Mexico. I don't. Mm-mm.
So, while I don't dispute that this part of the Aswan quarry might well have been a harbour, where I run into problems with it is the frankly silly idea that it's in any way suitable for a vessel the
Let's see. Where did my short go? Oh, it's gone.
Hey guys, welcome to Cairo. Today we're staying at the Marriott and we're gonna go check out the Giza pyramids. Let's go. Wow, this is the Nile.
By the way, look to your right, Roman clubs. They're Roman there, over there. Look.
First glimpse of the pyramid. Right there, right there. Oh my God. We are entering the Pyramid Plaza right now. We just got our ticket, going in. Nothing compares to the awe-inspiring wonder that you feel when you first see the Giza pyramids. We're at the pyramids of Giza!
Lots of questions go up to your head. The pyramid was built from the inside.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's this dope tech from Wix.
They only worked 3 months out of the year, so it took 20 years to build this.
Wow, they got that. They know that for a fact. 20 years. Only took 20 years.
146 meters high. Wow.
It's 500 feet.
Is almost as tall as me. Almost as tall as me.
Country for 20 years. 20 years, but wait a minute. They did not work all year round. They worked everyone during the inundation season. Big, massive boats made out of cedar wood were sent to Aswan to bring the massive...
Okay, propaganda, whatever.
So to go into the pyramid,
Can't listen to that for the 1,000th
Egyptian
time.
dollars or 15 US dollars, and there's essentially nothing inside except for a big tall chamber. So that's what holds up.
I'm not 4 years old, so I had to skip the repetitive over and over stories.
You have to crouch down through pulleys. This is the entrance to the tomb. There's 2 entrances. The top one is closed. Hey guys, welcome to the Pyramids of Giza. This is the last remaining structure from the ancient 7 wonders of the world, built 2,700 BC.
Nah.
4,700 years old. Absolutely incredible. When you first see them, they are extremely mysterious,
pre-flood,
extremely tall. For over 3,000 years, they were the tallest structure in the world. Welcome to Cairo! The pyramids were built for 3 different kings who were regarded as gods. The oldest and the largest was built for King Khufu.
remember that.
So behind us is the city of
You're
Cairo.
replicating.
Giza is right outside of the city. These are essentially tombs. So it's kind of like being in a cemetery. There's a lot of guys riding camels behind me. It's very cool. I'm here in December, so it's very, very cold out. Oh, look at that. Wow. Wow. So many birds.
I had a short of a kid climbing to the top of the pyramid. If he fell, it would be a goner.
We found some more pyramids behind Mike. Look at how ethereal the lighting is today. We have reached the end. Mike, impressions of the pyramid so far?
Truly amazing. Truly amazing.
I can't believe we're walking here, literally in the shadows of history. BP, what do you think?
It's amazing.
Amazing. So there are a lot of folks selling stuff around here. So what we did was we walked around the pyramid to the back where there weren't any tour guides. There weren't any.
People just doesn't understand the scale of the pyramids, just how absolutely big they are. I believe each pyramid had over 2 million stones the size of, they're bigger than buses. 2 million stones that are bigger than buses. Inside's granite, the chambers.
They've been standing in the desert for millennia. We don't really know much about their interior. Here's the other pyramid, and on this side is a tomb for dwarves. They were prized here because they had little hands and they could help with the gold. So there's a tomb just for them. This pyramid was built for the king. They never found his body though. It was looted. So they never found the
freaking king. Oh my God. All that for the king. Damn. That would imply that that civilization was dumb. Because if we're dumb enough to be deceived from all this in today's time, they must have been really dumb.
body. There were treasures as well that were looted, but you can go inside and see this cavernous area where his tomb was. Just in the span of 1 hour, look at how crowded it's gotten. Look at all of these tour groups.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Just like that, the sun came out. On that note, it's time for a little adventure. We're about to take a camel ride. This is so cool. We just got these turbans. The guy tied it for me. Mike's got it on as a scarf. Listen to that. It's like Star Wars.
Steady, girl. Hey, what's the matter? You smell something?
Whoa. Oh, girl.
Them people out there will rob you. Them tourist trap scammers.
The camel ride is one of the most thrilling ways to experience the pyramids. From the ride, we were able to get a sense of just how expansive the Giza Plaza is.
Giza Plaza.
These camels have been used
Shopping
as
center.
transportation for over.
We got camels. We got bracelets.
Perfect vantage point for photos. Along the Giza Plateau, it's as if time has stood still. There is nothing from modern day in sight for miles. Right here's my camel. Cairo.
They don't go
Our
into the
guide
chamber?
takes us on a
What?
360-degree tour of the pyramids to get a better vantage point.
There.
The population of Cairo, attention please, 20 million people.
The series of tunnels that you have to crouch down through the pulleys. This is the entrance to the tomb. There's two entrances. The top one is closed. Hey guys, welcome to the Pyramids of Giza. This is the last remaining structure from the ancient seven wonders of the world, built 2,000
inside the Great Pyramid. It's ridiculous. Every single pyramid in Egypt, like the Red Pyramid, there's a lot of old pyramids. They all have granite, what they call sarcophaguses. And there's a lot of pyramids around there.
Wipe off my glasses.
Huffing and puffing. Ooh.
Okay.
500 more feet to go. We'll get there, man. First time she's done anything in like 20 years. That's creepy. What the hell? What is she saying?
Can you hear my voice? Yep. My voice is coming back at me inside my ears, as if somebody's talking outside of me. Could that be the purpose of this?
Very creepy. And this one doesn't have a lid on it like the others. And I don't know if the lid, if it did have one, if it would fit through the square. And the one thing is interesting, this giant like hole in the wall or something got smashed. They don't have tools to do that. They didn't sit there with stones and smash a hole in it. Like, oh, what's on the other side of this granite wall? No. Like it went on the other, when he turns around, the sarcophagus itself is missing a corner of it. Like it could have projected. I don't know what the heck's going on over here with this. Well, that would be the entrance. I don't know. I'd have to see about that. If like, oh, they took away the. But from what I read, I don't believe it's possible to do that whole. Oh, he turned around. Where? He didn't even show the whole. Nope, he walks in, don't even show the other side of it. Dang.
don't miss your chance to be a part of the phenomenon.
Come on, let's go!
That's still the #1 movie in the world.
But energy of some form. Precise, though broken, protrusions were formed.
Still no sarcophagus footage. I'll try.
Okay, another look at the ascending passage on the way. So the Red Pyramid of Dashur in Egypt, part of the ancient system of pyramids constructed before the time. Resonant device, just like the Great Pyramid was, and that all of these structures, to solid stone like this, to mud brick, or vice versa. Now, if you carefully look, you can see on the right-hand side of the casing stone is mainly there, and on the left-hand side, it's missing. So it appears that the bent pyramid was struck by, again, some kind of cataclysmic event, possibly a solar plasma flare about 12,000 years ago, that struck on the eastern side of the building and blew out.
It's definitely not as perfect as the Great Pyramids, but those are some pretty big stones that they're using there. And inside all these are granite sarcophagus boxes, whatever.
Much of the casing stone on the eastern and I think southern, either southern or northern side. Now there happened to be an archaeological dig undergoing when we were there, and they actually let us go and inspect what they were doing. So Egypt is changing actually quite rapidly. A lot of sites are opening up that previously were forbidden by visitors or tourists. And the case in point is the Bent Pyramid. You can now go inside. The last time this was allowed was in 1965. And I believe in May of 2019, they've opened it up to the public, and we're going to be going in March of 2020. Now here you can see a satellite pyramid, and again, it doesn't appear that it's simply erosion, but that it was struck by some kind of force that basically blew the exterior off. Now this is where quite easily you can see the upper casing stone is missing, once again on the eastern side and on this side, whereas
The Bent Pyramid, the most unique and the best preserved. It's one of the most beautiful, largest and oldest in all of Egypt, and as you will see, it's the most challenging to explore. We're heading 30 kilometers south of Giza to the spectacular but less visited Memphite Royal Necropolis in Dashur, located further away than other necropolises from the cultivated plains, so we're going to the remote desert. As always, I'll show you rare footage and tell you more about the history of the pyramid, which still remains one of the greatest mysteries of ancient Egypt. We will not only go inside the Bent Pyramid, but also its satellite pyramid. So, let's go!
Dang, that's huge. That pyramid is huge, that Bent Pyramid.
The ancients called the pyramid Snefru, shining in the south. Even today, it's clearly visible from a...
She looks like a little tiny ant or something. You know that thing. This people down here are just itty bitty. Dang.
Shiny, bright facing on its exceptionally steep walls reflected sunlight. How it shined in the south. Over 100 meters high with its side over 188 meters long, the pyramid, built entirely of limestone, amazes with its bizarre appearance, shape found nowhere else in the world. Although it's slightly older than the Giza pyramids, it's much better preserved, exceptionally complete despite thousands of years of earthquakes and the use of the pyramids as a building source. Its external facing is still mostly in its original place. Forgotten for centuries, the bent pyramid.
See, like, for real, this stuff is like the real mysteries. This mudfoot stuff, it's a joke.
To explore and describe its in
There was only one flood, and it was the Great Flood.
Giovanni Battista Caviglia excavated the Giza pyramids, and as an assistant to Richard Weiss, he participated in the opening of the Pyramid of Menkaure. He was also the first to open Userkaf's pyramid in Saqqara, so he was a true pyramid expert. No wonder he became interested in the forgotten necropolis of Dahshur.
Just put on a full
Herring
production.
discovered not one, but two entrances, which is another unique feature of the pyramid.
That's 11 race, 25 minutes.
Meters above the ground. In front of us, a narrow, 78-meter-long northern passageway leading to the pyramid's chambers at an angle of 28 degrees, changing to 26 degrees in the lower part. The corridor is very narrow. 1 meter by 1 meter throughout its entire length, so it's not easy, especially for my cameraman.
I mean, that shows that these sarcophagi, whatever the boxes were put in there first before, because they weren't getting up through these passageways.
This passageway never ends. I've been to this pyramid many times, and it's one of the few places in Egypt where I've never had any problems with filming.
Getting into the boogeyman chamber.
Deepest, slightly strange room, only a meter wide, but 12 high. From here, up modern stairs, we get to the amazing lower chamber, measuring 5 by 6 meters. The chamber is 17 meters high, and its corbelled roof is impressive, even though, as you can see, the chamber is filled with these huge wooden stairs, which must have been placed here around 2019, when the pyramid was opened to visitors for the first time since 1965.
It's an interesting chamber. It's not like the other ones. It's set up a little different. Not like the Great Pyramids. It seems like they're all kind of unique in their own way.
Chamber begin at the height of 6 meters. Where the corbelled ceiling ends, that's where the base of the pyramid begins. On the southern wall, you can see a blocked entrance to the vertical shaft, which ends suddenly at a height of 15 meters. Its purpose is unknown. You can imagine what an impression this chamber made on Perring and other early explorers. To continue their journey up the pyramid, they had to risk climbing on ropes. The opening to the next tunnel is 12 meters above the chamber floor. Entrance to the so-called connecting tunnel to the upper chamber leads through a tiny hole, 92 by 74 centimeters. Although it looks like a tunnel carved by tomb robbers, It was most likely created late in the construction of the pyramid to, for some reason, connect the two chambers which were completely independent of each other.
Introducing Grammarly, like you've never seen before. Your all-in-one writing essential. Recycling is great for bottles, not borrowing.
When Perrin arrived here in 1839, a papyrus rope was hanging from the tunnel entrance. We see the entrance to the unfortunately closed western corridor, which leads from the second entrance.
The pyramids are crazy. Just the stuff that goes on through my mind, but I hate doing hypothesis or theory. They are ridiculous, though. And the megalithic stuff is the real mystery of things.
Steeper, dust and bats make it difficult to move around. Luckily, here in this corridor inside the pyramid, there is a little bit of air, as you can see. It's a little bit windy. And now I can breathe. Interestingly, in 1947, a bat mummy in a wooden box dating back to the Ptolemaic period was found in the corridor, the only one of its kind in Egypt. Again, the same issue. We've got bats here. Living bats inhabit the upper interior of the pyramid to this day. Unfortunately, I really don't like bats. Originally, it resembled the lower chamber with a corbelled ceiling tapering at a height of 3 meters from the floor of the pyramid were raised around it. In the upper parts, the cedar beams were removed, but their fragments still stick out from the walls. According to researchers, the floor was raised twice here, but not along the entire length of the chamber. Tourists visiting the pyramid today stand on this second elevation. Why was the floor of the chamber raised twice and completely rebuilt? Was it about strengthening the upper chamber? If so, with a 4-meter deep shaft between them.
I was hoping I'd see the sarcophagus thing.
We return through the connecting tunnel. As you can see, it's not easy to get around. I have to crawl in places. It's about 19 meters long. Another accidented work of ancient architects. Then we, as humanity, were as subsequent pharaohs returned to locating their burial. The presence of a satellite pyramid may point to the bent pyramid as the burial site of Snefru instead of the red pyramid, but that's just my guess. If one of Snefru's 2 pyramids at Dahshur was his tomb, the other must have been a cult pyramid. But which one? The interior of the red pyramid is in...
Make it a habit, 7 minutes of Tai Chi every morning all the way for 1 month. This Monday, we will start the advanced Tai Chi workout for beginner men aged...
So here we are. We are at the Red Pyramid. Older than the pyramids of Giza, older than the Great Pyramids. Have a look around, guys. Feel free. If you look at the pyramid itself, at the top there, you can just see there's like a little wooden structure on it. That's where you enter the pyramid from. So basically, this. If you have a look over there where I'm pointing, there's some stairs. You go up there, and then you head up, and all the way up to the top, over there. Quite new to get the tourists to go up there instead of climbing up the actual pyramid. You can see some of the stones. They look a bit smaller than the pyramids of Giza here. It's almost like there's more of them, but smaller.
This is 65 meters down at the moment in the Red Pyramid. You can see maybe I would say 1 meter high, 1.5 meters high. It's already starting to get a bit don't forget my girlfriend was behind me. She's like 5'3", and even she looks big in here. Okay? I'll show you guys back here. Look how far up it goes. 65 meters.
65 meters.
She's 5'3", and even she looks big. 5'2" even. There we go. And then there's a second part here. Before we head into the first chamber. Oh wow. So here we are in the first chamber. You can have a look around.
That's a pretty chamber.
You can see here, if you look up, it's all stepped.
Red Pyramid.
Yeah. Amazing construction. And then there's another door here just in front of me, which you can then go through into the second chamber. Let's have a look. Oh wow. Again, similar room. Same kind of structure internally with the stepped in roof. And then you have these stairs here, which take you up, I believe, into the Queen's Chamber. So let's head up the stairs and explore them. So they put these wooden stairs in here, obviously, for tourist convenience, should I say. As you can. So as you come up here, you get to have a better look. If you look the other side now, you can see the rest of the chamber a bit closer at the top. There's some kids coming up, you can see them shouting. Let's keep going. I don't know. If you don't know it, you don't know it. Oh wow. This is obviously the main chamber here. Look how big it is. All the stones from the pyramid itself. You look up. Wow. The smell is really overpowering though. I wonder what's causing that smell. I'm absolutely boiling and sweating. And it's not even that hot outside.
It's like they pulled the stones up out of there.
There's traps around here. I can't see any. Normally you can see them up here, like in the roof. There's obviously some, see these things here where they're measuring an expansion. You see here as well. Look at those. There's some people coming up.
That would have been a lot of work just to pull them stones out.
Here we are, a bit closer up to the roof. I'm too tall.
This game, you're not ready for it.
I'm just going to look down and keep walking. That's what I'm going to keep doing here. If I look up,
It's good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there you go, guys. The inside of the Red Pyramid, as you can see, it is a workout, as well as being amazing. So let's head back down these other super steep stairs. I'll tell you what, my legs are...
Hello everyone! Today we're going back to the most famous... Diodorus Siculus wrote in the 1st century BC. Although it was inferior in size to its predecessors, it surpassed them in skill and luxury of stone. The north side of the pyramid was inscribed that it was built by Mykerinos.
The third pyramid, the smallest of the three.
Unlike the Great Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramid of Menkaure wasn't accessible to ancient travelers. As in the Pyramid of Khafre, the entrance was much closer to the ground. Stripped of its facing,
I see that granite right there.
Covered with debris and sand.
The casing stones of granite.
Blown by the desert wind, the entrance was rediscovered only in the 19th century. This characteristic hole on the northern wall of the pyramid was made in 1835 by the Italian explorer Giovanni Battista Caviglia, of course by the use of gunpowder. He started looking for the entrance to the pyramid in this place due to a large gap that had previously existed there. The crack was probably a remnant after the famous Belzoni, who had previously been the first to get inside Khafre's pyramid and who abandoned his search.
That Peru like in Cusco, Peru, that same wall, same kind of shape and stuff.
While working on the Menkaure's pyramid,
so nuts,
due to lack of funds. The discovery of the entrance was finally made by the British general and politician Howard Vyse in 1837. Years of destruction of the pyramid were fit for nothing as Vyse discovered the entrance 13 feet below this terrible hole. Interestingly, Vyse had no plans to make any discoveries. He'd come to Egypt.
That's the story, and the world's sticking to it.
Discovery of the entrance certainly saved the pyramid, because Vyse, like Belzoni and Caviglia before him, had been using gunpowder to create a long tunnel inside the pyramid to get his way into the burial chamber. The entrance passage leads to the first chamber, carved in the rock. The so-called paneled chamber contains decorative niches on the walls. It measures 3 by 3.5 meters.
Looks like sandstone, something just a normal person could do at any period of time.
At its south end, we see a
if it was granite, I would take a second look.
portcullis chamber with huge vertical blocks of granite that once blocked the corridor to subsequent chambers. The robbers simply avoided these obstacles by carving out a corridor surrounding the portcullis chamber.
I don't know what she said. She's talking about granite in one and then showing pictures of a different stone in the other, like trying to correlate that.
We are now in a high corridor leading to the large...
Those engravings are a terrible job, no matter what it is.
It was here in 1837 that Vyse found a broken wooden anthropomorphic coffin with the name Menkaure. Of course, there were no anthropomorphic coffins in the Old Kingdom. The one found was placed inside the pyramid 2,000 years after Menkaure's death, probably during the 26th Said dynasty. As we know, in the late period, the legendary rulers of the Old Kingdom were particularly revered. Perhaps it was a symbolic reburial of the pharaoh whose remains had previously been destroyed by tomb robbers. Interestingly, human remains initially attributed to Menkaure were found in the upper chamber. The bones were examined using the radiocarbon method. They come from late antiquity and probably belong to a tomb robber who never left the pyramid, so it also became his tomb. We are now 15 meters below the pyramid's ground level and finally reach the lower chamber, built entirely of precisely fitted blocks of granite.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
The chamber is 6.5 meters long and 2.5 meters wide. It was in this chamber that Weiss found a beautifully decorated granite or basalt sarcophagus without a lid, which for unknown reasons was in the upper chamber.
They found a sarcophagus with a lid, and the lid was in the upper chamber. On that account, where is it? That's for sure granite. You could tell, see the quartz.
He found no hieroglyphs on the empty sarcophagus, only Arabic graffiti written in chalk. We know what the sarcophagus looked like thanks to detailed drawings by the discoverers, as the sarcophagus was lost on the way to England. It went under with the ship Beatrice.
It was lost on the way to England? What? What?
To be discovered.
Sorry, we lost the sarcophagus to the third pyramid on the Great Pyramids.
Or by treasure hunters.
The biggest scandal is since the Pentagon lost like how many $1 trillion.
Is quite small, but the pyramid itself is also small compared to its neighbors. The burial chamber is like a compact granite box protecting a sarcophagus. In times,
well, obviously you could get that sarcophagus out of that hole there.
were impossible to break through by robbers. Moreover, all the pyramids were guarded constantly.
They got it out of that hole? What? I don't, okay, no, that, what? Okay.
On our way back to the upper chamber, we come across the entrance to the so-called niche chamber, a mysterious room that may have served as a food storage for the deceased pharaoh. As you can see, the chamber is closed to visitors. Menkoire means eternal as the soul of Ra. This is the name of the 5th or 6th pharaoh of the 4th dynasty. He was probably the son of Khafre and Queen Khamene'tep I. Like his father, Menkoire married his own sister, Khamene'tep.
But then you got that tiny little entranceway at the bottom to get out. What?
No certainty because the famous Turin king list is damaged exactly in the place with this information. And appearance he left behind
I
many
guess they got
sculpted
it.
images. We know
That's all you
little
need,
about
besides-
Menkoire. Oof, it's high.
I don't know, man. Wish I lost the thing.
That cast a sinister shadow on the capital of the Ayyubid Sultanate, Cairo. The attempt to dismantle the Great Pyramid ended in failure, so the Sultan took on the smallest of the pyramids and achieved partial success. Within 8 months, he managed to remove some of the blocks on the northern wall of the pyramid. Big changes await the Menkoire Pyramid in the near future. Egypt's gift to the world in the 21st century, or project of the century. This is what the Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council,
The Peruvian Cusco, Peru walls.
starts this year. The project of Egyptian and Japanese archaeologists involves restoring the pyramid to its created by archaeologists. Perhaps during my next
Damn.
visit, the pyramid will be unrecognizable.
They're huge. This is ridiculous.
Decide to excavate the site. The temple was substantially today called in Egypt Mastabat el Firaun, which simply means the pharaoh's mastaba of the 5th and 6th dynasties.
She has a lot of history. Tell me all about Pangea.
As you can
and-
see, there is a causeway stretching far to the east. It leads to the now non-existent Menkoire Valley Temple. The satellite pyramids are classified as G3A, G3B, and G3C. These are probably the burial places of the royal wives of Menkoire. The westernmost pyramid, G3C, is definitely in the worst condition.
So obviously, 2 of the pyramids had wives, and the 3rd one didn't have any wives. I suppose. They had 3 wives each, and the biggest one didn't have any.
Black tomb inside. Fortunately, he gave up after removing the upper part. Sadly, prompted by the rich interior of the Khufu pyramid, ancient researchers looked for hidden corridors and chambers in.
I think there's a video where she goes in one of these queen's chambers.
At Full Sail, our technology programs are designed with a different approach to learning. We let our students get hands-on and start creating.
Hated the cruelty of his predecessors and sought to live in peace.
Granite.
Would have made the common people favor him. To the world, however, Menkoire is most famous for his magnificent tomb, which complements the landscape of the royal necropolis of Memphis, which during the 4th dynasty was Giza, with the great pyramids of his father and grandfather. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, like my video, and leave a comment below. Special thanks to all my patrons. Thank you very much, you are the best. If you want to help me continue this, please join my Patreon community, link below the description, or support me by sending super thanks here. I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much. Without you, it wouldn't.
All right.